Baby girl. The oven's preheated. I'm Mario. That's my Croatian co-host, Franco, a.k.a. Papa Fazul. Papa. Who we sitting down with today, and what we talking about?
Man, we got Jake Fine in the building tonight, man. I'm hyped up for this one. He's built an empire off building social media platforms, all while asking strangers ridiculous questions. Tonight, we're flipping the script. It's our turn. Bring out Jake, baby.
Keep it cooking in the oven. The oven. Yep. The oven. The oven. The oven. Yep. The oven. The oven. Smells good. The oven. Yep. The oven.
Jake, thanks for coming, brother.
Thanks for having me, man.
Enjoying some cigars. Franco don't smoke no cigars with me.
Nah.
I do like a cigar. I'm not gonna lie.
What are you smoking on right now, Mario? What do you got over here?
I got the San Cristobal, what was it, Revelation? What do you got over there? You got the Oliva V?
Guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Siri V. it
Yeah.
says. Where do you get these? These look like nice cigars.
I have some random cigar shop on the way home. I usually go to Matador Cigars in the one over here in Massapequa. They got one in Hauppauge. I think there's another one in Roslyn, maybe.
I feel like I've heard of that before.
Yeah,
Good spot.
Matador. Yep.
Gotta love Long Island summer.
A little bit of everything.
LI summers are the best.
We're back.
Dude, this is like last summer I was here, but I was not outside. Like I just started my business. I was like working all day. I didn't get tan. Like
So literally not.
literally like I was like this color right here. Like
We not outside.
and this summer, like I'm still gonna be grinding, but I'm gonna make it a point. Like I need to go out and do a little bit more shit because like the winters suck, and like I'm feeling it this year. Like yo, this is why people stay here. You know,
Yeah.
Where are you originally from? You're not from
Chicago.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I just see you around all the time, so I figure you're from here.
Well, I I started coming here with Aljo, or actually before I met Aljo, I was filming with this guy, the Manimal, who was like he had a couple fights in Bellator, and he trains at law.
Yeah, John.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Oh, you know what? Oh,
Yeah,
okay. So I was filming John, and like we were doing like a documentary. So I had come out here like a couple times before Aljo brought me out here, and I always was like, "Yo, Long Island's fucking sick." Like,
Yeah.
but I only came here when it was warm.
Okay. Well, I mean that's the best time.
Yeah.
We basically live in a vacation spot. You know, it's like
Yeah.
maybe not Wantagh itself, but you know, 5 minutes that way, you know, you're on
You're
the
at the beach, literally. Yeah.
I try not to go away in the summer. Like you said, we live on an island. So like in the summers, I try to stay here.
If you just stay here in the summer and then like go away like 2 times during the winter, like a couple weekends in Miami or something, bro, you're chilling.
That's all you need.
You're good.
It's literally all you need.
Miami doesn't want me back.
Miami,
Said every guy. Said every random guy going to Miami.
I got robbed last time I went to Miami.
They do want you back.
they're inviting you back now.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
But dude, tell everyone how you ended up in social media marketing.
Good question. So in like high school, like 3 years ago. No, I'm kidding.
Not far off.
Well, like early on, I think my freshman year, I took one of my elective courses was creative film, and then one of the there was like 2 big projects in that class. So the first one was like make a music video from like a song that you like. So I chose like We Are the Champions, I think, and I made some like shitty like whatever I could do to skate by for that project. Didn't care. And then the second project was like make whatever you want, like whatever video you want to make. And like I had this idea. I had this pitching coach at the time because I was like trying to be a baseball player.
Hey, you're sitting on the couch of trying to be baseball players.
Yo, it's a fucking great background. So I was like, this pitching coach, he was more like a yoga teacher than a pitching coach, but he started like preaching this like method of like a mental method to like not overthink when I was pitching. Cause that was like a thing that I always had was like, I would have one bad, like, you know, I'd throw a ball and they would fuck my whole day up.
But yeah, let's shit the fan.
Yeah. And then, or like I'd walk somebody and they'd score and I was just like wanted to kill myself.
Yep.
So
Dude, baseball's a tough sport.
literally, yeah. And then so I would be like, all right. His method was like turning off, like not giving a fuck what happens. Like he called it like disassociation. and just like whatever like you don't care, like you're not attached to the outcome.
Nothing's happening to you, it's just happening.
Yeah, just like if I walk somebody, whatever, like don't show the emotion, don't acknowledge the emotion, whatever. And like so I wanted to make a documentary about that, and then I just basically like I lived in that editing room every lunch period. Like I just spent all my time. I fell in love with like the process of making this video. And then that was like when I was like 15 or 16. That was like when Views from the Six came out. Like it was that time period. Yeah. Yeah.
It's so funny. You always remember like the high school song that relates to when that time period.
When one dance dropped. Yeah. It was that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then I just like started a YouTube channel that summer, and like kind of like I wasn't that like disciplined about it. But the next summer so that year I got cut from the team. Like I didn't make the team. I did all this pitching shit, didn't make the team.
Wow.
And then I like started getting into fitness, and like then I started a fitness YouTube channel, and I like lost a bunch of weight, and like I kept the channel. I stopped doing the fitness, but I kept the channel. And I just like, eventually it turned into me, like people would ask me to like film stuff for them. And I started like a business, skipped college to just do this business full time. And then started working for Aljo. And then it's just, now we're here. Yeah. So
now we're here. So that leads me to my next question. What's the secret to What's the secret to going viral? I just combined secret and viral there for a second. What's the secret to going viral?
So in terms of like, I can speak to like TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts, because I've never made a long form video that went viral. But for short vertical content, I would say you need pretty much the one thing that's true across all the platforms, Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts, is like watch time. Mm-hmm. You need long amounts of watch time. And then like how you get that is like the way I do it for my page. Like the secret is like there needs to be a story. So like because people get invested in stories. So like my most viral video, for example, because I do these like interview style videos. So I asked a bar owner. His name's Rishi's. He's one of my clients actually.
I know exactly what story you're about to tell too.
So I was like, you know, do you still believe, because he's a straight guy. So I said, do you still trust women after working in nightlife for 20 years? And this was my first viral video ever. And like this video taught me everything I know. So like he basically went on to tell this crazy story about how this lady like was on a girls' night out, right? No guy likes the girls' nights out. And then so like that right there, I think like just saying that trigger word, like girls' night out, like all the fucking like guys who like hate women and think they're all terrible people, like they're locked in. Mm-hmm. And then he told this story about this lady who like she went out with her girls. All the girls left. They tried to drag her out of the bar, and she was like, nah, fuck you. She's talking to this guy. She ends up fucking the guy at the bar. And then her husband, she calls him. He comes and picks her up from the bar after this guy leaves. And like she's parading him around the bar as if she didn't just fuck somebody in front of this whole crowd. Or like she was making out with this other dude in front of the bar. Then they go to the bathroom, or you know, they go outside, they do the deed. Yeah, the dumpster. It's crazy. And
Franco's got a dumpster story too, actually.
Wow.
Who doesn't?
See, like we should ask and then clip that. So and then, you know, like, so just that's like a horror show, you know, like imagine being that husband. And then, so people are like, you know, that video was 90 seconds and the average watch time was 48 seconds, which is like fucking really good for like Instagram. So like, I just try to replicate that formula. So crazy question tied to something on the internet. That's kind of like a talking point that people are already talking about. And then like have a crazy story to go with it. And then like prescription. So like hook, story, what do I do about it? Basically is my formula. So like, and I could just apply that to anybody, you know? Mm-hmm. But I think the reason stories are good is because people get invested early in the story, especially if like the beginning is very shocking, you know? Like that guy, like the girls' night out, you kind of know, he goes, oh, well, you see a lot of cheating. There was this one girl who was on a girls' night out. boom, like every guy's hooked into that story.
You're somewhat invested.
Yeah.
I say that to Franco all the time. I'm like, I care about the hook. Not so that you could have good graphics, bad graphics. If that hook is good, you just skyrocket your chances of being successful.
That is that's 90% of it right there. So like, cause think about it, the nature of like Reels, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, you're scrolling until something stops your scroll.
Yep.
So that's 90% of it is just getting someone to stop their scroll. And then if you can kind of like keep them entertained, if you can stop their scroll and also invoke their curiosity, they're going to like, the idea is you stop their scroll, they get curious about whatever you say, and then they're waiting for the payoff. And you want to drop that right at the end of the video. Yep. So now they've watched your whole video.
Yeah. You got to breadcrumb them though along the way.
Exactly. So don't invoke their curiosity and then give it away in seconds 4 through 6. Now there's no point in me watching seconds 7 through 40. You know what I mean? Yep. Keep that all the way till the end, and then once you give it away, cut the video. Like don't have 30 seconds after you give it away, because now like that's 30 seconds that the algorithm is going to see no one's watching.
Yep.
And then your video tanks. So there's a lot, but like it seems very simple, but it's very hard to do, because especially with what I'm doing, I'm relying on other people to have stories.
Right.
Yeah.
What's that like? How challenging is that? Because I mean, you could bust your butt for a whole night and come back with nothing.
Well, a lot of times they're planned.
Okay.
So like people kind of know what I'm doing now, and like I'll ask them, like let's say I was gonna do an interview with you, right? I'll be like, I'll talk to you beforehand and be like, all right, what do you got for me? Like what do you do for a living?
I deal with transportation.
Okay, so like what does that entail?
My job is, I have no exciting stories for you with that.
No, but like tell me about transit, because I could find something, I promise you.
Oh, I mean, we deal with like, I just oversee the operation. So like I'll deal with funding, oversee project management, different construction projects going on to some of the properties, procuring new buses.
Transit, so buses, right?
Yeah, buses.
Okay. So like you might not have a story, but you might have like an interesting fact about public transit that like is a common misconception or something people don't know. And then we could, work back from there. So it's not always a story. It might just be like something that, like I said, like people don't know. And then like that'll go viral. So like I see videos in Long Island all the time. Like this guy I know, Long Island sign guy. Have you guys seen him?
I know you're talking about the Long Island sign guy.
Yeah.
He's like the guy in the city. The dude,
that guy.
dude with sign, right?
No. So Long Island sign guy, Arthur, he has like a sign. He does signs for like he could make this sign right here. So he'll literally go around to like different signs in Long Island and like tell the backstory. And then like he made it even more viral. He'll go to he'll go to like big landmarks in Long Island now and talk about the history of it, and then like Long Island will see that shit, because like people didn't know that, and now it's like now you're sharing it with your friends, you're sharing it to your story, like the Jones Beach, the thing at Jones Beach, the
needle,
yeah, okay, yeah.
Some people call it the pencil, some people call it the needle. I don't know.
I call it the pencil.
And I've been here my whole life.
I have no idea what the fuck it is, but he made a video about it, and I was like, oh, I've seen that thing. And then he just explained what it was to me, and now I've watched the whole thing. There's not a story there, but it's like kind of the same breakdown of a story where it's like hook is the first act. The second act is like, this is the meat and bones of what I'm explaining to you. And then, the third, like there's like a conclusion, which is like, now I know exactly what this is, like, or so now you know. And it could be like that could be the formula too. For those videos, I make them a lot shorter because people don't want to be like lectured for that long on social media. 100%. I've found people will watch a crazy story like about a woman cheating on her husband until the sun goes down. But people, like, if you start preaching facts and shit, they won't watch as long. So I shorten those videos. So
those hooks, it seems like everyone agrees with those across the board for the most part. Whenever you watch these social media gurus, talk their talk. But what's one thing these gurus say that's absolutely bullshit?
Like about social media?
Yes.
I was trying to think about this all day, so I had a really good answer when you asked. But it's like a double-edged sword. I was gonna say that you should just post whatever comes to your, like, I feel like a lot of like social media gurus will just say like just post constantly all the time. And I think if you like, it's good advice because you'll get better quickly by doing that. But if you're not paying attention to anything that's going on in terms of like the analytics, you're not paying attention to what people are commenting, and you're kind of just like firing away like blindly. If that's all you do, I feel like you're not gonna learn from it or get better from it, and then you're just gonna like get a really low engaging audience.
Yeah. I feel like that's a very entry level approach. It's just kind of fighting that analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
And those people who won't press post because they're worried about what people think. Like
Yeah.
that gets your foot in the door. But you got to do the research. You got to work with AI. You got to, like you said, look at the algorithm, engage with your audience.
Yeah.
All that's important for
Like
sure.
I would say post if you're gonna post 5 times a day or whatever, make sure you're looking at if you're on Instagram, right? There's like the two analytics I would look at is view rate past 3 seconds, because that tells you how good your hook is. So that's like let's literally we could screenshot that and put that in here. But like view rate past 3 seconds, just if you start posting 5 times a day, maybe your average view rate past 3 seconds is 30%. So that means 30% of people who see your video watch longer than 3 seconds. That basically means your hook is pretty shitty. That means 70% of people don't like your hook. The video,
What number are you going for there?
65.
65%.
I've noticed is like the sweet spot. But so like I'm always playing this game myself. Like I'm
Constantly.
and it's not just me. I've got a bunch of clients paying me to make these clips for them too. So it's like I'm always looking at these numbers. So like I've noticed like if a video is at like, you could get away with like 60% if the view rate's really high, but I really don't think the view rate is gonna be high unless your hook is good.
Of course.
So like I think you need to have that 65% view rate past 3 seconds, and you only get that stat on Instagram. And then the other one is like, you kind of want people to watch half of your video at least on Instagram.
Okay.
TikTok, but okay, so like back to posting 5 times a day. You got to be constantly improving those numbers. Like if you're posting, like, and like use each post as a measurement of how it did, like of getting those numbers higher. Because if you just focus on those numbers and incrementally getting them up there, then that's going to actually make your videos get more views. And just trying to focus on those two things is going to teach you everything you need to know, I believe. So like, because you'll learn what hooks work, what hooks don't, what topics interest people and what topics don't interest people. You'll start to get the gist. And I personally think, this was going to be my answer I decided on. A lot of people say views don't matter, just post. Views is the only thing that matters. If your post doesn't get views, it's not a good post.
Okay.
In my opinion. If your video doesn't get views, it means people didn't watch it. It means it wasn't a good video.
Oh yeah, I mean,
So
I have to agree
what,
with that. No,
What do you consider the benchmark for a good amount of views?
is there a benchmark?
That depends, right? Like for me, I think it also depends on the size of your account, because every app is different. So like Gary Vee has like 10 million followers on Instagram. And like, if you look at his Instagram views versus his TikTok views, the algorithms are very similar in terms of like how they rank a video. But on TikTok, one video Gary posts might get 40,000, and that same video will get 700,000 on Instagram. And I do think that's because followers on Instagram plays a part in it. So like if you have 10 million followers, every video you post is going to get a lot of views. Okay. Unless you're just making absolutely shit videos. Like,
Or it should.
it should. Yeah. Like a guy like Gary's doing everything right on every video. So a lot of his followers are going to see his videos. But on TikTok, he's doing the exact same thing, but they're not getting the same views. So it's like, and TikTok is like a place where, how do I explain this? It's more sensitive. Like the videos that hit really hit. But the videos that don't hit, you could have a 15 million followers.
We see that on
and
our
no
page.
one's gonna see it.
Yeah, dude.
So that's kind of like TikTok is the brutally honest algorithm.
It's like the highest and the lowest. Man.
Yes.
It lets you know.
Yes. So like, and then Instagram is like, I think your following matters more. And then YouTube Shorts, it's like all of that shit matters. Plus you have to have a good title and thumbnail on your video, which is like a whole new element. But if you get that right, YouTube's a lot easier. So like what I was doing was like, I would post everything on all 3 platforms the exact same. And now because I've been posting every day, once or twice a day, I've learned these little nuances of each platform. And now my YouTube shorts are starting to crush. Like I've just had one that started to go viral. But like, and then I'm reposting old videos with this new knowledge. And then those videos are going viral, even when they didn't before, because I learned about this title shit. You got to have a good title. You got to have the right thumbnail. Because on YouTube, people are selecting videos to watch. It's not just a feed where you're swiping. So anyway, views is the most important metric. If you're not getting views, your videos aren't good. Like that's the hot take.
Well, it's like being a pitcher and being able to throw 105 and not throw a strike. You're a good thrower. You're not a good pitcher.
Yeah, and you
know,
could.
like-
That's a great example. You could have all the editing skills and know how to edit something that looks really cool, but like in the marketplace of videos, it's not performing. So it means it's not in this market. It's not good.
Yeah,
You know what I
it
mean?
might be good to you.
Yeah.
It might look good.
Yeah.
But
So what do you have to say to like the frauds out there that like kind of change the perception of different accounts? And by frauds, I mean like the people who buy followers, buy likes, buy comments, and people think they're some crazy guru or they're way more popular than they really are. And honestly, sometimes they kind of change the perception of the way people look at authentic accounts like ourselves. What do you have to say about those people?
What do you mean? Like, can you elaborate the question?
So what's your perception on the people who essentially cheat?
Sometimes those guys make a lot of money because they like they fool some people, you know?
100%.
But like, I don't think that lasts a long time. Personally, I think like it's a fuel that burns quickly, and then you've ruined your whole reputation. So I just think like, and then like as social media gets older and like people start to like, I feel like people can kind of smell the bullshit now.
100%.
And like you can kind of tell when someone's faking something versus like you could like, bro, if some guy comes out of nowhere and all of a sudden they're like going viral and this dude has like a $400,000 watch and a fucking G-Wagon and like I don't know who this guy is and all he does is sell a course. It's like, that's fake. Like everyone knows that guy's fake.
That's a rental.
Yeah. Like it's like, bro. And like, I don't think anyone's being fooled by that. And then like the few people that are like, you know, process of elimination. Right?
Absolutely.
Or what's it called? Darwinism.
Darwinism.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, those guys are retarded.
So Franco had a few questions that I promised him I wouldn't touch on. I know he's dying to ask you a couple over there. I feel like I've been hogging the mic right now, so I want to give him a crack at it.
Okay.
Well, I really wanted to start. I wanted to go a different direction. And I mean, dude, you interview some characters, to say the least. You know, it kind of reminds us of a little bit of what we do. You know, we have people from all different, you know, races, nationalities, just like all different planes of life come and hang out here. What's one question that you have been dying to ask that you haven't gotten to yet?
That's a good question. I've noticed a lot that like the videos about women cheating specifically go super viral. I don't know why that is. I've done a few and they've all like hit for over 1 million total views. I want to interview a divorce lawyer and just like ask more about that. Like, why do you think, like, what is going on in the male-female dynamic that's so much more shocking when a woman cheats? Because they probably get to see that at a level that most human beings, like, we don't get the insight on so many people's failing relationships like they do. So I've really been trying to get a divorce lawyer.
I got you. Done.
You got one?
Yeah, we got multiple for you.
Yeah.
Bro, honestly,
And like, big time.
any lawyers, doctors, or like
You want doctors? I got you too.
specialists with like a lot of education, like those people are very fascinating to interview.
Got you.
So, bro, that would be sick.
Done.
That'd be sick.
I
Yeah.
used to be a doctor, so
There might
Actually?
be.
I was like,
He was.
what happened?
we joke. I used to work in the healthcare field, so that's like our running joke.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
I thought we were gonna have a divorce lawyer card on the table right over there. Actually,
Bro,
That would've
I really have been trying to interview a divorce lawyer. I would just say like, I guess I would just ask why is it so shocking when women cheat on men? Like, why is it so hard for the population to accept that happens? You know,
I feel like that's heavily tied to Hollywood and cinema and how they painted women as the victim so many times on screen.
I would love to know, do men cheat more than women actually? What do you guys think?
Dude, I think if emotional cheating counts, women cheat more. No, without a doubt.
Really?
Without a doubt.
He's been through it, dude.
I've had 4 midlife crises. No, okay.
How old are you?
2.
What's your projected age? Because midlife is kind of crazy.
I got about a week left.
He's been on borrowed time for a while.
That's hilarious. So wait, what is emotional cheating? Is that when they just talk to another guy and like?
Yeah, but like talk to
That's
them.
what Carmela did to Tony with Furio.
Yes, with Furio.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Secretly, I was a fan of Furio and Carmela. Secretly.
Nah. Fuck Carmela. Fuck that.
I feel like the emotional cheating is even worse. Like I'd rather if my girl's gonna cheat, like go all in.
Nah, bro. fucking, you'll
Are you
both
fucking
die.
kidding me?
Like,
What?
Go all
don't-
in?
don't
I
just-
never want to hear my
No,
girlfriend
like,
and
no.
another guy and the words "go all in."
I don't want
Yo.
listen. I don't want my girl laying in this dude's bed watching a movie with him. Like But
you'd rather her fuck him?
they're eventually going to.
Franco's the kind of guy that after he finds out she cheats, he's like, "Did you cuddle?"
If she texts the guy
Did you
back,
cuddle?
it's over.
Done.
Like, yeah, like that.
After the cheating.
Nah, like if you know what the guy wants and you're still like entertaining him, that's like.
That's step one.
Once I find out about that, it's like.
It's tough to come back.
You fuck it. If you will lay in his bed, God forbid, like, and watch a movie, like, I feel like that's like you've already way crossed the line. Like
I feel like that's like
Carmela, right? Let's go back to the Sopranos, right? Carmela, like, would go to this guy's house and like start organizing his house for him.
yeah, that's
That's like,
yeah, that's bad.
that's fucked.
Yeah.
or like talking about their emotions with him versus talking with you, like even just about like how they feel about their day, like that's emotional cheating. Like, what do you need to? You don't need to converse with the opposite sex about how you're feeling about your day, unless he's your therapist.
Well, I mean, what she in that case, it's like, are you going to talk to Tony about it?
She's got to figure out her own relationship.
Yeah, nah.
I mean, listen, we're guys. We're
Yeah.
3 guys right here.
Yeah.
We know if we're paying attention to how she feels about her day, we want to fuck her.
Oh, 1,000%.
Right?
Yeah.
So you know he wants to fuck your girl.
No, I mean they know. They know.
Girls love playing dumb. Girls love, oh, he doesn't. Bullshit. Because girls.
You sound like you've been traumatized.
I have so much trauma. Girls don't leave until they have someone else in their back pocket. And that's true. That's a fact.
Have you guys had a divorce lawyer on here?
No.
I mean, I feel like you could have a good episode with one. Like just,
I've never been divorced. But
or like a relationship counselor. I would ask that too.
Mario's quote is, "Treat them like dirt, they stick like mud." So
I've never said that.
I don't believe that. Okay, you don't believe that either.
I know, I don't.
Yeah, I don't believe that. Nobody sticks around. Only fucked up people stick around where they're treated like shit.
I wouldn't say fucked up. I
Like
think
they've
people-
been traumatized.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, people
Not
who've
like
been
they're
through
fucked
shit.
up. Like,
Yeah.
but they've been fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't have a sense of self-worth.
Yeah, those are and you don't want to date those people.
No, because they're
It's just not.
yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I don't even know how to describe that, but they're not really self-sufficient.
No, it's not. Well, it's not good. It just ends up being toxic. But yeah, that's what I would ask. Is definitely I would ask a divorce lawyer if men or women cheat more, and go into that whole thing. I need to get a divorce lawyer on my show or whatever.
that's easy.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
All right. Fuck yeah. That'd be
Pause.
lit.
He's 24 and he has a way better beard than you're ever gonna have in your whole life. I've just been admiring it every time I turn to the right.
This is all I got right here, man. This isn't.
I thank God every day that I can grow a beard. Because
Yeah,
I'm
you got a
ugly
good
as
beard.
fuck without. Oh, this is a funny story. Are we rolling?
Yeah, we're
All right.
rolling.
So like the beard shit. So the last time I shaved my beard, we took a boys trip to Jamaica. It was Aljo, Marab, Dennis, Ally, Quinta, and I was the camera guy. So
That's a squad.
it was a good squad. And then but I got there. Marab and I got there like on the same day, and it was just Aljo, Marab, and I at first, and then Dennis and Al came later. So we're driving, and Marab, like I had just shaved my beard for the first time like since I met Marab, and he like looks at me, he's like, bro, he's like, brother, I don't think you should shave beard ever again. And I literally never shaved it since. Like that's all I needed to hear. And I think he was right. I didn't. I look like way young. People say I look like older with the beard, but I think like I look way younger than I actually am without the beard.
Oh yeah,
I looked like 18 without the beard, and I was 22.
That's so funny.
yeah.
You'll always remember that too.
For me, it's the jawline. I just simply don't have the jawline I had at 18, and the beard saves me a lot. Like,
Yeah.
it makes it look like
It's like makeup for us.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
People say that all the time.
A good fade and a beard is like makeup for men.
Yeah, like Dan Bilzerian without a beard, he looks like a chipmunk,
Yeah, but at least he's jacked.
and he's got money,
Yeah.
more money than me.
Or he did have
That
money.
makes up for a lot.
Does he though?
I think he did have money. I don't know if he still does.
I feel like some guys have money once and then they can just like pretend to have money for the rest of their life.
Yeah. Well, he was like a trust fund baby or something like that.
I don't know.
He's one
Because
of
I think his business, like, there was a bunch of articles that he lost like $50 million or
off of
some
that.
shit.
Yeah, it was
Like the vapes or
Yeah,
something.
yep. So, you brought up the UFC guys, you brought up Aljo and them. How did you wind up working with Aljo?
Oh, that's a good story. So I was coming here for John Manimal, and I came here twice and stayed like 2 weeks each time. And then I didn't know really much about the UFC, but I knew like MMA was a big thing. So I was filming this documentary with John, and then he, like, one time I was here and Aljo was teaching the wrestling class at Law.
Okay.
And he was like, yo, he's about to fight for the bantamweight title. I didn't even know what the fucking word bantamweight was. But later that year, I got into UFC, and I actually started, because like everyone got into UFC during the pandemic,
Everybody. They were the only ones fighting.
including me. So I started making I was that guy who learned, like, started watching, like, I always watched like Connor's fights, but I never watched anyone else.
Yeah.
And then during the pandemic, I got really into it. And then I started making TikToks about it, and those started blowing up.
All right.
And then I hit up Aljo, and I was like, yo, I see you have a podcast. Do you need somebody to edit? I'll do it for free. And he was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. I'll send you, like, you can edit it, make me some clips. And I was getting like 1 million views a week on TikTok, and his clips weren't really doing anything because he was doing everything himself.
Yep.
So like,
It's tough.
so I like started doing clips for him, and then I did this for like 6 months. Like, he would send me the podcast, I'd edit it, I'd upload it for him. And eventually he was like, yo, I want to start taking this more seriously. Like, I'm looking to pay an editor. What are your rates? And I was like, he was like, I'm talking to other people. So just like which I've later learned, he says that to everybody to get the best price.
Of course.
But in the moment I was like, oh, he's talking to other people. Like, I got to get the best rate ever. So eventually, like, I thought about it. My whole weekend, I was like consumed with how much do I charge Aljo? And I'm like stressing, bro. And I was like, cause I don't want to lose this job. So I was like, yo, I'll just keep doing it for free. Just give me like a cool opportunity down the line.
Hell yeah.
And then he was like, you sure? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right. So just business as usual. Another couple of months go by. And then I was like, hey, yo, I got an idea. Like, let me know if you have time for a call. So he calls me, and I was like, hey, like, I know you're about to fight Peter Yan in this rematch. This was like right before the rematch. Okay. The first rematch, when it was booked before he pulled out because of the surgery. And I was like, if you need somebody to like film your camp or something, like I've made a bunch of vlogs, like I could do that for you. And he's like, all right, I'll think about it. And then like the fight the fight ended up getting moved back like 5 months because he still needed to recover from his surgery. And 3 weeks before that fight, he called me again and was like, yo, you want to come up? So I drove back to New York and we started making these daily vlogs. I was like, yo, I'm going to make you one vlog per day. And
Almost like an embedded?
Yeah, basically. But like on his channel.
Yeah, even better.
And he really liked him, I guess. And I was actually about to quit making videos at this time and like try to become a personal trainer.
Wow.
Because I was so like disenchanted by like content.
Yep.
And I was like, I just want to like make more money, and just I felt like I don't know why I thought being a personal trainer I would make more money than what I'm doing right now. But I did for some reason. And so like I was like literally taking the course to be a trainer. And then Aljo's like, yo, come out here. And I did, and then he loved the vlogs and he was like, I would love to do this like full time. Like I would love to have these like, and I had no intention of getting a job with Aljo. Like I was just like, this is cool as fuck. Like I get to film with this UFC champion, like whatever. Like I'll tell my kids about this. But that's it. Like there was no like goal to work for him. And then he said that and I was like, well, you could just hire me full time. Like I blurted it out. And he was like, that's a great idea. And he was like, let's talk about this later. And I was like, so right after that, I called everybody I knew and I was like, yo, I'm about to work for Aljo full time. We had no agreement. We had no agreement finalized. He just said like, that's a good idea. And I told my girlfriend at the time, I called my parents.
Yeah, you gotta learn.
I was like, hey, we're breaking up. I'm about to move to New York. That didn't actually happen, but it pretty much did. But, and then, yeah, but like a few days later we talked about it and we figured out the monthly rate. And then he was like, you can live here at my house for free. So you don't have to pay rent. And like, this is how many videos we're going to do per week. And then boom, I was with him for like 2 years straight through the rest of his title run.
It's awesome.
Just with him. If anyone asked me to do shit, I was like, nah. Because it's like, if it interferes with like, people would be like, hey, are you free like in 4 Saturdays? Aljo has no fight coming up, nothing. I'd be like, no, in case, like I would have gotten more money. Like it was a paid opportunity. I was like, no, because if Aljo wants to do something that day, like last minute, I want to be like available. Because I was like, I don't want to fuck this opportunity up. Mm-hmm. And I had just worked for him for free for like a year.
Yeah, so
You got some skin in the game now.
But I was like, yo, I'm not about to just fuck this up. I was working for a UFC champion. So yeah, like that's how I got in.
And he's a cool dude, man.
Yeah.
Like he's a great dude.
Bro, he's the man.
Bro, any rumblings on his next fight? Nothing yet, huh?
No, I don't know anything.
Yeah.
I don't think I think he wanted to get on the Newark card, but I don't know if that's happening at this point.
On the Newark card?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I remember in January they said that he was trying to be ready. They were trying to be ready for April. But
yeah, it's I think he's gotten some offers, but they didn't pan out for whatever reason. But he always kind of keeps that tuck until it's out. Yeah, like I'll be like, yo, you had this fight booked? And he was like, yeah, my bad. Be like, what?
I feel like I'd be the same way.
Well, yeah.
Well, bro, like how many fucking people like probably feel like, yo, you didn't tell me?
Yeah.
Like, but like, yo, what's he gonna blast it out to all his friends? Like, but yeah, nah, it was cool. That was so through like the nut story, me getting kicked in the nuts.
Yeah, I got to hear about this. So you got kicked in the nuts.
Yeah.
And you got to tell the story. Apparently, this is like the worst nut shot ever.
Yeah. So,
Without a doubt.
So like 3 weeks. Okay, back up the truck. So Aljo calls me to come to New York and work for him for the fight camp. Like, hey, you can come film for me now. And but 3 weeks before that, I was doing Taekwondo and I had no cup on, and I was sparring, and I was like preparing for my first tournament. I just got my yellow belt, which is like the first belt after white.
Nice.
It's not that crazy, bro. They give out belts like fucking Halloween candy in Taekwondo, but so I'm sparring this purple belt. So this guy's been doing it for like a year and a half longer than me, and I was only doing it for like 3-4 months. And then he like spinning back kicked me into my left nut, like no cup, nothing. And I literally like it hurts so bad, like right away. I fall to the ground and like I'm like convulsing. I'm getting hot and cold flashes. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. And after like, you get nut tapped and like 5 minutes later, it kind of calms down usually.
Not this time.
This, bro, it was like worse after 20 minutes. Like it was like progressively more painful.
Oh no.
After 20 minutes. And so I called my dad. I was still living with my parents at the time. And I was like, yo, you got to come get me. Like, I can't drive. You got to take me to the ER right now. And he was like, all right, relax. And he comes. Basically, he doesn't take me to the ER because he thinks I'll just be sitting in the ER for like all night and not get helped out. Because like there's probably somebody there with something worse going on. And I mean, like if somebody's dying, that takes precedent over my like sore ball sack. You know what I mean?
I don't know, the family jewels, man. I don't know.
I mean, to me, it doesn't take priority, but so where was I? So my dad comes, he gives me like 3,000 milligrams of Tylenol, and like he's like, all right, and like that actually did something, and I was like able to get home, and then like 2 days later, I get an ultrasound down there, which was another painful experience, and they're like, yo, your nut is ruptured.
Oh my God.
And like it's like bleeding out. And it was like purple and yeah, it was disgusting. And they're like we have to do surgery. Like they're like, we could let this heal, but it's going to be extremely painful for like 3 months. Or we could just remove it. But those are basically the two options. Maybe we can save half of it. Like just cut off the part that's ruptured.
Sorry for laughing, but
no, dude, it was, and these were my options. They were like, it's 99% gonna get removing, or we'll save half of it if like there's a chance, right? And so like those are my options. So I was like, all right, fuck it, like let's go under. And I do the surgery. I wake up, my mom's next to me, and I was like, do I have a nut? And she was like, yeah, they actually just stitched it closed. Like,
all right.
No, but think about that.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Needle just sewing through your.
Well, you got your nut though.
Yeah.
oh, cheese and rice, man.
Bro.
Listen, do whatever you gotta do. Preserve my nut.
Nah, well, the option they went with ended up being more painful because like there was more trauma. So like so basically 3 weeks after that surgery, that's when Aljo calls me, and he's like, "You want to come film for me?" And I just got back on my feet. Like I just started walking again, and like
Perfect timing.
yeah. So then I like the worst day of my life, almost losing my balls, to like 3 weeks after the surgery, like I'm working for Aljo full time. It was like the craziest month in human history for one man. Like life fucking completely changed in just like in two crazy ways.
That's just the highest high and the lowest lows,
Bro.
like, with back to back like that. That's crazy,
Bro.
Just from a spinning kick like
It
that.
was like March 1st of that month. I woke up living in Chicago with 2 nuts, right? 2 healthy, intact nuts. And then April 1st of that year, like 1 month later, half of a nut gone basically. And I'm living in New York working for a UFC champion.
Wait, I thought they preserved the nut.
It was like,
They took some out.
they preserved it, but it was like, it's damaged, You take a trauma like that,
Oh, yeah,
it's
of
like,
course. During the healing process, like, obviously you're a man, so you get erections. When you would get an erection, would it be like extremely painful in your?
I mean,
scrotum?
I like didn't for a while.
Wow.
Yeah. No, that was.
No, 'cause I'd imagine that would be. Also, I've had.
I got a story for that. I'll tell you offline.
Okay, cool.
I don't want to get into graphic detail.
TMI.
Yeah,
But
I knew he was gonna ask that.
nah.
How funny was for you were in a lot of pain, but for me, I've had a testicular ultrasound before.
Yeah.
It was the funniest thing. The girl's like explaining to me the different towels. She's like, all right, so I want you to take this towel and I want you to cover yourself. Then I want you to take this towel and make it like a little hammock. And I want you to put your scrotum on it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, no, that's not what happened.
No.
So for me, it was like that. When they do an ultrasound, they gotta like put the little thing on your skin to like.
Oh yeah,
sorry.
with the gel and everything.
Yeah, like and like they had to do that to my nut that was ruptured.
Yeah,
like 2 days ago.
Anything touching that is
Bro, like just like a feather, like not even like if like a feather like flew by and didn't even touch it, like I would feel it. That's how sensitive it was. Like like I had to like, bro, I was like about to freak out knowing that this was about to happen. And it wasn't as painful as I thought it was going to be, but like that anticipation of like she has to like go down there. It was like, bro, it was not fun.
I feel so bad for you, bro.
Yeah, it was rough.
Thank God you're right.
I will say that I probably experienced the most painful thing a human can feel without dying. I would venture to say, sorry, that's more painful than giving birth.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I would venture to say that.
Here come the women in the comments just roasting you for saying that.
Like you're not supposed to get kicked there.
no.
Like you're not
like that.
Like that. Like, bro, and like, you know what I also thought too? Because like I thought if you remove one nut, you can't have kids. Like that's it. I thought you needed both for some reason.
Just need one.
No, I didn't. But then my doctor was like, "Oh, you just need one," and I go, "Mother Nature knew to give us retards too, because we're gonna fuck it up somehow." Like that. Think about how many men like had to go through something like that for evolution to figure that out. You know?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Maybe I got that whole thing backwards, but
I don't know.
that was genuinely my first thought when my doctor was like, "Oh, you only need one to have kids." I was like, "Yo, Mother Nature knew." Like
She gets it.
to give us two.
Yeah,
we're
just in
fucking
case.
dumbass men.
Yeah,
Like,
getting kicked back in the day by horses and shit. Who knows? But we always talk about the evolution of things.
Franco
like that.
goes back in the day getting kicked by horses and shit. What the fuck?
He got spinning back kicked by a person, dude.
no, bro. Like, my little cousin told me a story the other day of like one of his camp counselors when he was at like sleepaway camp. Like, they were playing baseball, and my cousin like line drove a baseball right back into his balls, and he was like fine, like no damage. Like, think about how fucking hard I had. Like it had to be the perfect kick.
Yeah,
For that to happen. Like, how many men get kicked in the balls?
The way it must have compressed against your body.
Exactly,
there was
bro.
give,
Like,
there was nowhere for it to go. It was just straight on.
Oh, yeah, nah.
Oh,
Just think about that pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. That's
Oh my
worse. There's
God.
nothing worse than that, I would guess.
No, thank you.
But yeah, so that's how I got the job with Aljo.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So where were you living with him? And was that in Vegas or?
I would go back and forth with him.
Okay.
So now I just live out here, but I would live at his house in Long Island, and then I would go to Vegas when he went to Vegas.
So without incriminating yourself, you got any crazy Vegas stories for us with the boys?
I have a wife, basically.
Okay.
Not what she's my girlfriend for a long time. If I say those stories, it's not going to be good.
I hear you.
such a gentleman.
But yeah, nah. I mean, actually, really nothing too crazy. When I was like just starting to work for him, I was single, and like they brought me to the club for the first time, and like Tyga was performing,
Nice.
and we had the section right next to where he was performing, and I was like 20. I just turned 21, bro.
Oh, so you're ready.
So it was like I didn't even know this existed, like the clubs. So that was a fun night, and it was crazy, and like I had never drank before I was 21 either. So like
Really? Okay.
and then really the first time I ever got drunk was like the day after he beat Jan in the rematch. And it was like we're all at the hotel bar in Jacksonville, because that's the only place they were having fights in the States was Jacksonville during COVID. And like it was like everyone was getting lit, and like Ally Quinta was like, he knew the only thing I ever drank was red wine. So he was like, any drink he got, he would get me one. And it was like, he got a mojito. He's like, you ever had one of these? Get Jake a mojito. And just like fucking like, I don't even know what drinks he was giving me because I didn't know what they were at the time. But I just tried I had like 12 drinks that day, and I never got drunk before.
Al's the fucking man.
Yeah, facts.
Al is fucking the man.
Yeah. He popped my cherry with a lot of those drinks. Pause.
Yeah. Whoa. Popping nuts and popping cherries.
Hey yo.
So the time that this episode drops, UFC 15 will be coming up on the Saturday.
3:15?
3:15?
Yeah, 3:15.
What day is this dropping?
This will be next Wednesday.
Oh shit.
I don't have an exact date.
We're already on 3:15? I thought we were wow, that's
Yeah,
great.
3:14 just passed that. So 3:14 was
Last week you got fight night this weekend,
yeah,
and then when this drops, 3:15.
two
Bro,
fight nights back to back.
we've had some good fights.
Dude, some
recently.
good fight nights
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Some of these fight
Bro,
nights,
everyone always at this time of year, or like a month ago is like, you know, the UFC's all like the UFC always takes like 6 weeks off right at the beginning of the year. And then like the first few cards back are never that good. So everyone's always like, oh, the cards are shit this year. And then like it always ramps back up like this. Everyone forgets.
And once you hit International Fight Week, then it's game over.
Bro.
Then it's
Literally.
But so now Bilal's fighting. He's defending the belt.
Against JDM.
Yep. So
Snooze fest.
see, that's what everyone's saying. Everyone says that Bilal is the most boring fighter. Do you agree with that?
No.
Who would you say is the most
I don't think he's a very exciting fighter, but I don't think he's the most boring fighter. I would say most boring. It's a good question, actually.
Islam.
No. He knocks people out at least.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Nobody's coming to mind.
No?
I mean, Bilal's definitely on the top 10 list for sure.
There. I feel like Colby in his like older age is getting boring. But
Colby was never that exciting to watch, in my opinion. He's just exciting before and after the fight.
that makes
But like
sense.
in those
Yeah,
25 minutes, you know what you're getting.
So I gotta ask you about my guy then. What are your thoughts on Jon Jones?
He's a wife beater.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of him.
I'm not a huge fan to be.
I think John is sometimes a boring fighter.
He can be a boring fighter.
Yeah.
Him continuously putting Tom Aspinall like on the back burner. He came out and said that Tom is probably a more dangerous fight than fighting Alex Pereira, but he'd rather fight Pereira. And if he wins that fight, then he's beaten 10 UFC champions.
Yeah, like that's annoying.
Yeah, like,
also,
dude.
like, bro, you beat a guy who like everyone knows how that fight's gonna go against Pereira.
Dude, it's
Like Pereira's not beating him.
yeah, you get him to the ground and it's game over.
Yeah.
Like
so
it's same song and dance over and over.
I don't actually think John is scared of Tom. I just think he's alluding to that he might be, so that the UFC like wants to incentivize him more to fight. Like I think John's playing his cards very well. I think a lot of people do whatever the UFC wants exactly when they say, but I think John is actually just playing his cards a little bit smarter and trying to use whatever leverage he has to get as much money as he can, because Tom is a dangerous fight, especially like Tom's young and hungry. John's on his way out. He's old.
Tom's a different fighter, man.
Yeah.
Tom's quick for
And
that size.
Yeah, John's never fought a guy that big and fast at the same time. Like he's probably fought guys that fast, but they weren't as strong.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, and John's a little older. He hasn't been as active. His last, he beat Cyril, who was like stylistically a great fight for him. And then that was coming off like a 4-year layoff.
Yeah, 4-year layoff.
And then another big layoff. And then Stipe, who's like old too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like, I don't think John's scared of him, but I think he's like, yo, this is a dangerous guy. I need to get as much money as I can. But he's playing it smart. Like he's making it. I think John knows exactly what he's doing when it comes to like negotiating and playing the public, you know?
Of course.
And I agree with you. I don't think there's one person on this planet that Jon Jones is afraid of. You could say whatever you want about him. I don't think he's afraid of anybody. I agree with you.
Yeah, even if he loses to Tom, he's still going to be considered the GOAT. So like what's, you know?
Agreed.
I would be scared. Like, yo, this guy's going to. Like, yo, like you make one mistake, you're fucking getting hit by like a
Truck.
line.
Yeah.
Tom would be a linebacker if he grew up in the States. He would be in the NFL.
Yeah, Tom's a fucking moose. Man.
Tom would be, what other, there's no other sport. Yeah, he'd be a very well paid football player.
Hell of a rugby player. In England.
Did he play rugby?
No, I'm saying
He should have been. Yeah.
Could have been.
Well, that brings me to my next thing with the UFC. Are the UFC fighters the most underpaid athletes in all of sports?
Yeah, probably.
Or is it the WNBA?
No, they're overpaid. No offense, but
Yo, my blood pressure just went up.
no,
In a second, dude.
I mean, I would say, yeah. The only thing is like, I think if you look at, the UFC is a very young sport. I don't think NBA players were getting like the fuck you money when the NBA was 20 years old, 30 years old. So like, I think we're just early on in the time period, but eventually I think it's going to become a thing where the revenue share is a lot higher. I just think we're early on, you know, all the other sports that you're comparing the revenue shares of to the UFC is like they're like 100, 200-year-old sports.
Yeah, they're
Like
full.
MLB has been around since like
Yep.
before 1900.
Yeah, yep.
Like, do you think the guys in 1910 were getting paid 50% revenue?
No,
No,
you're right.
They were like plumbers. They were like
Yeah, this was their side
part-time
job.
baseball players. Yeah.
Yeah. Does the UFC ever see a marketing messiah like McGregor ever again?
I don't think they would let it get that big ever again. Like, because then, like, look at I think the thing about fighting is like once they have money, they don't want to do it anymore because it's so hard compared to like golf, right? Like you probably want to play golf even if you're fuck you rich, you know what I mean? That's what guys do when they get rich. They go play golf. So, or like, I mean, football, I think it might be a little bit different, but like Tom Brady, like he had fuck you money and he was still playing, you know? But like, why guys don't want to cut weight and get in the head 7 days a week once they have like $2 million in the bank. So I think that's the one thing where it's like, and then like look at Conor. Conor is doing anything except fighting. He's literally everything else he could do, he's doing but fighting. So I just don't think they would let a guy, because there's two parts, right? There's the UFC marketing machine and then like marketing dollars. And then there's like the star who's like naturally rising and like getting more famous on his own. So when you like the UFC sees a guy going like this, they pour fuel on it, then he goes to the moon. They can just control how much fuel they put on it. And I don't think they'll let a guy get that big again. I don't think. Like, cause it just, then they lose control, you know?
Absolutely. You saw that with Conor.
Yeah. And then like usually also like what every fighter, like even boxers, like Mike Tyson, like look at most fighters who get that rich that quick, they like burn out for some reason, you know? Like they fizzle out, they like become party animals, or I don't know what it is, but I just think like they'd rather not pay the guys till the end of their career and not pay them nearly as much as they paid Conor.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, it is business, right?
Yeah. And it's just the model, I think, for them. They're smart, you know?
Super smart. All right, let's jump into the softest boys' names. Mario, you go first.
Aiden.
Why?
It's just a soft ass name. You gonna ask me why for everyone we rattle off?
That's just interesting. I guess it is, yeah. Okay, go ahead. Okay. I got Aubrey.
Liam.
Jaden.
Jaden. So anything, Aiden and Jaden.
Jaden. He's going Braden next. Like,
Yeah. Well,
And that's the list. It wasn't on my list. but
Caden.
Blazer. Taser. No.
Riley.
No way! That was on my list too.
Deadass?
Rose to Franco with that one too. He fell for a Riley one time.
Riley.
Shut up, dude.
Wait, you fell for a dude?
It's a unisex name.
Unisex name.
Well, so was Aubrey. That's kind of my
Yeah.
angle. But
I
like,
have a unisex name on mine. Alex.
yeah.
That's
But like,
not
then you
really
got
like
like
a
Alex
full
Pereira.
I know. I thought the same thing.
Yeah,
Like when I said it earlier, I'm like,
Fucking Poton. Like,
Tyler.
Tyler's a good one.
yeah.
Justin.
Oh, that's
Nah,
really good.
I don't agree with that one.
No?
Justin?
Nah, I don't agree.
What about Ben?
I got a cousin named Ben, so I can't. I know a lot of Bens. I'm Jewish. I know a lot of Benjamins. I'm trying to think. Taylor? Nah, I know a Taylor. Fuck.
You said it. You said it.
Well, you said Tyler, right?
Tyler.
Yeah, okay.
It's Tyler versus Taylor.
I'm trying to think.
What movie?
I don't know.
Never Back Down?
Oh, that's your jam. Nestor.
Oh, Eugene.
Eugene. Wow.
Wow, we're going like Carl.
Old school. Yeah.
Carl. Carl was on my list. Philip.
I feel
Phil.
like
I think Phil
Philip
is strong.
can be kind of gangster. Like,
Yeah,
you
I think
think so?
Phil's a
Yeah.
strong name.
Maybe Philippe.
Like,
yeah.
like I was gonna say Zach, but like,
My brother's name is Zach.
but no Zach. Like I said it out loud. I'm like, there's
Nah,
not
Zach
many-
is hard,
Yeah,
bro.
Zach's
Yeah.
hard. There's not many names that start with Z.
Any biblical name is hard.
I could go with that. I can go with that.
Zach Taylor.
Oh, yeah. But Morgan Wallen's a G. You know? He's kind of like the Drake of country music.
But that is one of those unisex names, though, we were talking about.
But if a unisex name gets coined by a dude who's like a gangster, like,
Okay.
I feel like it kind of like takes the softness away,
Okay.
right?
Like
if
Alex Pereira. Like
yeah,
like
exactly. Yeah,
Boom.
like
Yeah.
what else? Another one.
What's another one? Like I wanted to say Charles, but Charles is a
That's
a
more
dude's
just like
name.
old people.
Yeah.
You know? But I'm trying to think. Yeah. I think we hit him.
Steve.
Soft? Nah.
I'm surprised you haven't said Matt yet.
Matt. While we're on the topic of boys' names, men's names, Mr. Beast came out with that post. Can 100 men take down a gorilla? What's your
Yeah.
guys' thoughts on that?
Absolutely.
Absolutely not.
What?
There's no
Dude, if there's a gorilla and like 100 dudes,
100 dudes is a lot of dudes, man.
bro, like that thing's dying.
Think about the surface area of the gorilla. Okay, maybe 8 dudes can cover the gorilla. The other 92 mean nothing. He is tossing, biting, and crushing anyone that's
Yeah, but
touching
while
him.
he's focusing on crushing one person, like 30 dudes could be like destroying his skull. Pause.
No, there can be 30 dudes just in the air while the others. You gotta
Nah.
realize only so many people can get to him at one time.
Yeah, but bro, okay, like
gotta work
if
together.
100 bees sting a human being, the human being's probably gonna die.
Yeah.
Bro, they're not.
But 100 humans can't fit on a gorilla. 100 bees can fit on a human.
Yeah, but enough humans can fit.
No.
Yeah.
I literally asked ChatGPT
I-
and it said, like, it could totally work.
I just
100 guys will beat a gorilla. ChatGPT
Yeah,
said that.
Not a lot of people would get hurt.
All right, well, watch
And
your
not a
tone when
lot
you're
of
talking to me.
I can't really.
listen, I need like 8 people to like get me up high enough and I'm choking that fucking thing out. Okay?
Nah. Like the first guy is a sacrifice for sure. the first
couple.
one to enter, but then like after that, it's kind of like once the gorilla's distracted, you could just start hitting him with some shit. No.
Well, no, now you're taking weapons. It's got to be
No, like
hand-to-hand
just
combat.
fists. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, 100
I
men is
promise
not.
you, I don't care how hard you are punching a gorilla. It is going to do nothing to him. Are you kidding me?
You don't think so?
Nah.
No,
What if I punch him in the throat?
dude.
So okay, so
You never saw freaking.
This isn't King Kong.
You never
Mario.
saw
This is
Tarzan?
this
Fights
is
jaguars.
It's a gorilla in the zoo.
Tarzan's a human.
No, but the gorillas. What?
They're like 300 pounds.
They are unreal strong. Like, listen,
Bro, but like
maybe it'll be a good fight.
Dude, so you think the gorilla would kill 100 men simultaneously attacking him at once
No.
before the gorilla
He
dies?
thinks like Donkey Kong, like flying in the
Yeah,
air. with his
bro.
fists
No.
spinning.
No.
Someone's gonna die for sure.
The
It's just-
gorilla will the gorilla will lose because he will tire out. He's not going to lose because of the pain that you're inflicting on him.
So he lost.
So he lost.
Okay. I talked myself through it. He'll lose, but not because you think you're gonna punch him in the throat. You're gonna give him a concussion. That's not gonna be why. Eventually, he's going to gas.
Bro, I'm not individually gonna be the one who gives him a concussion, but if 5 human beings punch him 5 men punch him
Their hands
at
break.
full force,
Hands break.
in the head, like repeatedly over and over, while he's like focused on one dude, because he doesn't have a million hands, like he's gonna get hurt.
How many? So realistically, how many men do you think a gorilla could take before the men take him out? 20?
I think like 10 or 20.
10 or 20?
Yeah.
100 dudes is a lot of dudes, man.
You guys are overestimating human strength, man.
It's just a gorilla.
It's not overestimating human strength. It's just like he can only focus on X amount of things at one time.
You guys have never
And he's
seen
a
Baby's Day
fucking
Out.
monkey. Like,
Oh, of course I have.
bro, it's not like a smart, intelligent human being. This is a gorilla we're talking about.
Yeah, no, I agree. 100 men are buried.
And we're not that different
Listen,
in size.
I'm smarter than a lot of the guys in the UFC.
There's
Doesn't mean I'm
men
gonna
who
beat
are
them.
at 300 pounds.
yeah, I guess it really depends.
Oh, but
What's the sheer
Wait,
weight of
think-
100 men?
okay, forget about the weight.
20,000 pounds?
A
100 men,
chimpanzee
you
is
gotta think.
5 times stronger than the average man. So think about how strong a gorilla is.
Okay, let's just say one gorilla, one silverback is like 10 times stronger than a man, right? 15.
Bite force, pretty crazy.
Now
too.
if I get 15 on one, now it's even strength wise. There's still another 85 men.
Yeah.
And like attacking from all sides.
I'll agree with you guys. I'll agree that eventually the gorilla will lose, but you guys are completely.
I don't even know how this type of shit goes viral.
Your
to be
calculation is off.
Like, how is
Its grip is capable of crushing a crocodile's skull.
I told you. Phyllis just said.
Force of around 1,000.
no? I
PSI.
get that, but it's not like it has 100 mouths. It's it can only bite one man at a time, while 99 other men are fucking it up. Where it can't defend itself.
All right, but 1,000 psi bite force.
Yeah, that one dude who gets bit is fucked.
Fuck. What is it? 1,000 what?
1,300.
So 1,300 psi bite force. Look at
All right,
those
what's the force of a human male punch?
That's a good question.
And it also said that it can crush an alligator's skull with its hands,
Okay,
which is
bro.
wild.
Alligator's skull is like this, dude.
Also, a skull is like
A man can generate a punch with around 120 to 150 psi, while professional boxers can generate punches with 800 to 1,500 psi.
okay, 100 Conor McGregors
No.
fucking up a gorilla.
Okay, but dude, a punch at 1,000 psi versus a bite with canines at 1,000
No,
psi
bro, but-
is insane.
I don't think we're gonna beat this.
No, I honestly, I think we're
No.
I think 15 of us are taking a gorilla down.
That is an ignorant statement.
Yeah,
that is ridiculous.
I actually probably agree.
I'll go in first.
You say you
You're
agree with
fucked.
15? You agree with 15?
20 for sure.
Dude, 35 to 50 at least to give you a chance. And then once
Bro,
you
what
start
do you
pushing-
think is gonna happen? The gorilla's just gonna go like boom and kill 3 men? Like,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you know
will
it's gonna
house 3
take
at one time.
while the gorilla's murdering one man. Let's say that takes 20 seconds, right? There's 100 men, 99 other men, like fucking it up.
Getting
like
their blows in, dude.
Yeah.
I've never been this frustrated in
I-
a segment
I-
before. What 99
How do you
men
think
are not
we feel?
punching it at one time? Honestly, I hope you two are there when Mr. Beast decides to fucking.
I'm gonna walk away a millionaire, bro.
Yeah,
Dude.
dude. I'm gonna be spitting on the camera, letting everybody know.
Dude, a missing nut is gonna be the least of your problems.
I'm gonna be $1 million richer. You can take my arm, bro.
Would you give up your arm for $1 million?
No,
Absolutely not.
no, actually no.
I think I'd give up my arm for $1 million before I gave up my leg.
Oh, don't.
Would you give up? How much would I have to pay you to give up your left testicle?
Well,
Yeah, well, funny story. I've already been down that route. So your story is kind of close to mine.
Wait, what's your story?
Well, I actually when we were in seniors in college, I got diagnosed with testicular cancer.
Whoa.
Yeah, dude. And
How did that feel?
honestly, I thought it was like an STD or something. I had no idea. My nut was like
I'm
this.
sorry for that.
Well, I'm on the baseball team at Stony Brook, right? We're taking a road trip to Bryant. I'm in the back of the bus and my nut is like this big. So, and again, I was
Discolored?
not yet.
Okay,
I didn't,
not yet.
It never really like got to that point. It was just like I thought like one of the guys on the team was like, oh, it's just elephantitis, like this and that.
Just elephant.
Yeah, just elephantitis.
Oh yeah. What?
This is like 2014.
Bro, when's the last time we jerked off?
Well, what made it weird was like 2 nights before that I was with this girl, and immediately we just thought, you know, it could just be an STD. We have no idea what's going on. I pitched a full game.
With a nut that big?
Yeah. But I'm not wearing a cup or anything.
Wait, hold on. You thought an STD made your nut swell up
Bro, we
like
had
that,
no
and
idea
you
what it
weren't
was.
that concerned?
I wasn't concerned until after the.
That sounds like sounds like the worst STD of bro.
I had no idea, bro.
That's
I
a
had
biohazard.
I had no idea what was going on. All that I knew was I didn't want to tell anyone what was going on until I had to show everyone on the bus. I thought it was hilarious. It was fucking huge, and we were on the way to a game. I got everyone fucking going, but after the game, I was in so much pain, dude, and I wound up like icing. I thought it was a hernia, so I actually had a hernia at the same time, but I wound up icing like right over here,
Bro.
and I've never felt pain like that in my life. Like my coach came up to the clubhouse, is like, when we get back, like you really got to go check this out. And they gave me the same thing, it was the same options. So we actually saved half of mine, but
Oh my God.
yeah. So when you were telling that story, I'm like, I've been down this road, just not getting kicked in the nuts. I think a lot of it has to
Yo,
come with,
imagine if you did get kicked in the nuts
No,
when
but-
it was that big.
when it was that big, no.
That pain would have
No,
been
no.
so crazy, bro.
You don't understand. Like, it was stomach pain, it was nut pain, it was like everything. But like, I've gotten kicked in the nuts with like a soccer ball from like 5-10 feet away in the cold, where I swear to God, when you were saying like 20 minutes later it got worse, I was laying on the turf on the soccer field and I couldn't even move. Like, my team was just gonna like leave me there. 20 minutes later, it was like,
Were they? Yeah, bro.
it was that much worse.
Yeah, nah. What, bro? When I was laying there and they were still sparring,
Oh yeah,
they just picked back up.
Bro,
I was like, yo, I'm fucking dying over here.
Bro, we were doing this thing called In It to Win It. The baseball team was playing against one another. We were playing soccer against each
Okay.
other. It was broke up the team into 4 teams of 8. My coach just stood in front of me, and everyone was running around me as I was just laying on the floor. Which, I mean, when we were kids, we thought it was fucking hilarious.
Nah, that shit's not hilarious. That was
I mean,
like
now, when you think back, but
traumatic as fuck.
I was just laying on this.
Yo, damn, bro.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So they removed half your nut, and then what? You just
So we had the option for, I mean, we could have went through chemo or we could have done surveillance. I chose surveillance, which was just kind of like a roll of the dice. And 5 years later, was in remission. And now I think I want to say I'm 5 years in remission now from,
wait. So it just took that long to like go away?
well, we did the surgery.
And then-
did the surgery and then then it was like every month for a year, every 2 months for
Well, the surgery was a success.
Yes, exactly.
He called me
Yeah,
after. He
yeah,
said
yeah.
they got everything. They're not concerned. So it's just surveillance and monitor.
Okay.
So the cancer was taken care of.
Yeah, yeah.
But you
they
weren't
got what-
technically in remission.
Yeah, there's a certain time
Yeah.
frame between the
said 5
diagnosis
years.
and 5 years. So they didn't detect any cancer cells
Okay.
after the fact.
Yep.
So you just after that 5 year point, right, is considered remission.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
Oh,
after like
okay.
5 years, I just stopped going back.
Yeah, it's not like he was walking around with cancer still
Right,
in there.
right,
Yeah.
Like, I was back in like, and I don't even think it was that bad because I was honestly, man, like, I was supposed to be out. I was supposed to redshirt. I came back in fucking 3 weeks. Like, I told my doctor, like,
Nah,
sign this shit. Like, I'm pitching against Maine, and I pitched against Maine 4 weeks later.
yo,
That was, it to me, it was just another bump.
back in
the road.
3 weeks is crazy because like,
3 weeks.
bro, I was like 2.5 weeks later, I was like still on crutches.
Well, they told me 8 weeks I was supposed to be out, and I wasn't taking any of the medicine. I was just smoking weed.
That's fucking crazy.
But yeah, 3 weeks. I went back to my doctor. I was doing squats. I'm like, you're signing this fucking paper. I'm pitching next week. I'm not coming back to school next year. I'm not going back to school for another full year, dude. There's no shot. I don't want to be there as is. Imagine
Yeah,
another
Stony
year.
Brook. I don't know.
Another year? Jeez, and rice. That's not for me. That's the first time I've told that story on this podcast. Thank you for that.
Bro, see, like that needs to be a clip.
Dude.
That's a good story.
I had that in my head. I was gonna like text him like, "Yo, hate to do this to you, but we gotta clip that."
Oh yeah, bro. Bro, if I had the video of me getting kicked in the nuts, I would have posted that shit.
Oh, bro. See, for me, I don't tell people because now it's different. Back then, I didn't tell people because I just didn't want anyone to feel bad for me. Like no one in the athletic
bro.
department knew. Like they made me accept an award, bro. No one in the athletic department knew. I stood up there. I'm like, yo, my bad. Like I didn't.
Nah,
I
that's
didn't tell
fucking
you guys.
crazy. So the way I look at the world is like, if you have a story like that, you have to tell it online because it's like that shit is worth money. Like, how like views are money, bro. Like, if whoever's the most relevant is the one who's probably making the most money, I think. Or it's like, it's so much easier to make money if you are circulating on the algorithms.
For sure.
So like, I would just like, I don't care. Like even if it embarrasses me, like.
Nothing embarrasses us anymore.
Yeah,
at this
like
point, it don't matter.
But I remember like one of our roommates, we were doing the podcast at the time at Aljo's, and he was like, "You would have posted that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "This is what's wrong with the world." And I'm like, "Bro, that shit would have gotten like 2 million views, easy." At that time, like,
Dude, I totally understand where you're coming from. I had a girl on Bumble today. She replied after like the second or third comment. She's like, "Wow, just saw your podcast. You're really something. Yikes!" And that was the end of that. So it was like,
Yikes
putting
is
yourself,
crazy.
Yeah, putting yourself out there is like, yeah, we get.
so
a lot
wait,
of
would you
shit.
say it helps you with dating or no?
Honestly, since we started, Franco knows this. It hurts me more than it helps me.
Really?
Well, because he's looking for love. Like when he's looking for love, and then when these girls, really, really dive into the podcast, they learn to hate it.
You know
which
what it
fun.
is? Girls don't want to date. Like once this gets big, then they'll be into it. But when it's not, until it's like huge, it's gonna be like I don't know. I don't want to like. They don't. I don't know. They just don't want to take the risk on it.
You're nobody till you're someone.
Exactly.
No. Yep.
Especially as a guy.
Yeah.
But
Dude,
you need a girl who's down. You know.
That's it.
no, you need to ride or die.
Like
You need
my
to ride or
girl.
die. Your girl, dude. He's gassing her up right now.
I have to, bro. You know. You know how it is.
Yeah, you got to do it, man.
Yeah. But fuck yeah. We could talk about social media forever.
Forever.
All right, so before Franco hits you with the last question, just let everyone know where they can find you on social. Let me redo that because Franco coughed.
Oh, my bad. I thought you were just talking.
Go ahead.
So before Franco hits you with the last question, just let everyone know where they can find you on social media.
Just add jakefinemedia anywhere. And then I think if you just search Jake Fine on YouTube, you'll see me there. But all I do is like post shorts on there. But I want to get some long form content out soon. So, but yeah, Jake Fine Media everywhere.
It's tough. The long form content, like it's such a grind, and then to not see the views that we get with the shorts, it's like,
Bro, I think like if you hop it like talking about the gorilla thing, I think is good because like people are talking about that right now. So like you can kind of ride those waves. Like I think that's a really good way to like hack your way into like the algorithms. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Like and honestly anybody can do that. Like it's the hard thing is like talking about what you want to talk about and then getting people to like become consistent fans. I think that's the harder thing. But like the low barrier to entry thing on social media is just talk about the trendy shit. Like that's kind of what I do, you know?
Trend hacking.
Yeah. But like it's all part of the larger play, you know?
Right. Like it fits your formula that you talked about in the beginning,
Yeah.
but you use the trends to help you.
Yeah. And like I really like I only care about going viral. Like I don't care about it sounds superficial, but I just think like that's the game we're playing when we're playing the social media game, you know?
Why else are you doing it?
Why? Yeah, I'm not trying to fucking have like a little fan base, you know. I'm like also like it's not gonna be this easy forever, you know. It's only gonna be this easy, you know. But like even on Instagram, it's getting hard to go viral
100%.
because there's so many people posting there, and not as many people watching. Versus like TikTok is, I think it's a lot easier still.
That's
but
right. Yeah, everyone says TikTok is like that's your golden goose. You get big there. It's like your way to get big everywhere else.
yeah, I mean, like I only have one video that went viral that went more viral on Instagram than on TikTok. Every other viral video I had went more viral on TikTok.
Really? See,
Yeah.
Instagram's our bread and butter.
Instagram likes us more than
Yeah, Instagram likes us the best out of all the platforms so far.
I think that's probably because you have a decent sized following on Instagram. So like you have more like, but like you have more like like people looking for your content. So like on Instagram, the following still matters. TikTok, it doesn't at all. Like I have 30,000 followers on TikTok, but like I posted a video yesterday I posted a video today that got 300 views.
Wow.
And it's not gonna go viral.
You just made us feel so much better. Not
Bro,
that,
that's-
no, we're rooting for everybody, but the relatability there of like us thinking that a video is going to crush it. And dude, I'll look 4 views sometimes. And then we have some that got over 200,000.
I think the ones with like 4 views, that's probably like you said something that they don't want to push.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah, like they put you in jail for that.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
away.
that's
Put
the
you in
thing.
timeout.
But like, how do I put this, bro? YouTube Shorts, I think, is still like completely untapped. Like that's what my take. I learned that this week, by the way, because like I was thinking, oh, like I can't get any views on YouTube Shorts. Like it must be too saturated. But once I figured out this, like the extra layer that you have to have a good title and thumbnail, like you really got to put thought into that. But if you get that right and people start clicking on it because your title's crazy or it's attracting views, like the same way you need a really good hook to stop the scroll, you need a really good title to get people to click.
Yeah.
But then people are watching videos way longer. Like I'm getting like 90, like on Instagram, if a video gets on TikTok, right? If a video gets watched 50%, like the average watch time is 50%.
That's great for TikTok.
That's viral. That's going viral.
Okay.
On YouTube, that's like I'll get a video with 67% watch time and it doesn't get any views.
Yeah.
But like people are like that's what I'm saying is people are watching longer on YouTube. on average. Like a lot of my videos are getting 90% watch time on YouTube Shorts because like there's way less videos getting posted there, and like a lot of kids and shit are scrolling YouTube Shorts. Like there's a whole different audience. So I don't know. I just think like if you figure that out, like that's a great area of like there's a huge land grab waiting to be had on YouTube Shorts.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I totally related to what you were saying about how you're doing it to go viral. You know, Franco and I had to have that reality check a little bit. It's like we now understand that it's not really what we want to talk about or what we want to make the show about yet. It's about trying to hop on those trending topics.
Bro.
And you know.
Like I'll reference Gary Vee again, right? Gary Vee is the hook. Like you see his face, you stop scrolling because he's got such a big brand. Alex Hormozy, he's like you wonder how some of these people just always go viral all the time. It's because they've won the game of virality so many times that they have so much credibility, they have so much watch time that you just like know who they are and you stop and listen to what they have to say. Even if I said the exact same thing that Gary Vee said and got 10 million views, no one's going to stop and watch me say it because I don't have that trust yet. But like, I think we live in a time where you can actually like, it's a level playing field and you could become that guy if you just if you play the viral game really well, you know?
Absolutely.
So I think like, and people will be like, oh, you're selling yourself, you're selling your soul, you're just doing whatever to get views. It's like, yeah, but like, one, that's not an easy thing to do, is like even just playing the game, right? Like just trend hacking and all that shit. That's not easy to do. You still have to do it well. But then like the reward of that is like you can like say whatever you want and 1 million people see it. And like that is fucking,
It's awesome.
literally printing cash. So that's like the only thing I care about when it comes to social media.
That's why we're doing it.
Yeah, bro.
That's it. Let me hit you with the last one, kid. You ready?
Yeah.
You can sit down to dinner with any person, dead or alive, ask them any questions that they got to answer. Who you picking?
That's a good one. Low key, maybe like Hitler.
Really?
Just to be like, yo, why? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, something like that. I'm very curious. I love watching like World War II documentaries. Or, you know, here we go. Winston Churchill. That's who it would be. Yeah. He's my lock screen.
I saw that before.
Bro, Winston Churchill carrying a Tommy gun is my lock screen.
That's amazing.
It's fucking gangster, right?
Why him?
Dude, he I know he's like this, for some reason this is controversial to say now, but like he like saved the free world. Like there's a movie that's like on all the Delta flights about him, and it's really cool. I suggest if you're ever flying like a long flight on Delta, like look up the Churchill movie. I forget what it's called, but the actor did a really good job. But like it just showed, like, bro, it's like the whole world, like the whole like Western world wanted to do like a peace treaty with Hitler, and he was like, nah, fuck that, we gotta like kill him, like we gotta like win this war, and just willed, like he just did it. That's why we don't speak German right now, which is like just crazy to think about. Like I'm a big like World War II fan. Like I love watching the documentaries and stuff, like the stuff in color that they have all over Netflix.
Dude, World War II in color is awesome.
Yeah, there's also like a YouTube channel that just like puts out like 3-hour like documentaries like every day. Like I don't know how the fuck they do it, but like maybe they're just reposting old videos and stuff. But that, to me, like I would just love to pick his brain and be like, why are you like this? Like how did you do this? Like how did you accomplish this? You know,
In such a crazy time.
that would be a street interview that I would do.
Yeah.
Wow.
That would be cool.
Dude, that was a great answer.
Yeah, I love it. Winston Churchill, Hitler, whoever. Shit, both of them.
Both of them, yeah. Like
That'd be some fucking table, the two of them at one table.
bro, like you guys debate, I'll moderate. That would be fire. That's good content.
That's great
you know?
content. Bring him back.
Who would you guys? I'm curious.
I've gone through a couple different ones. I always land on Greg Maddux. I was a pitcher my whole life. Just the
Greatest pitcher of all time.
Of all time, man. He's
Put the ball anywhere.
anywhere. And
Yeah.
dude, have you seen his documentary?
No.
I'm not even gonna.
What's it called?
It's so it was on. It's not a 30 for 30. What was it called?
It was last year. It was
Was it Phil, can you look that up? What's the Greg Maddox documentary called?
Greg Maddox documentary. It was called.
It was recent.
Yeah, it was last summer. No,
Doc? No, that was for Roy Halladay.
that was.
Who's also up there for me?
One of a Kind?
I think so.
This is the Greg Maddox documentary titled One of a Kind.
I'll check it out.
Oh yeah, One of a Kind.
Yeah.
It was like a couple months ago.
Yeah, August 2015.
One of a kind.
Yeah, One of a Kind. Dude, this guy was, I mean, he's the best pitcher of all time.
1000%.
And he's a doctor when he's up there. He's a
Yeah.
surgeon.
I was raised like my household was a Greg Maddox household.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
All
like
right.
it was
you're
like
Chicago, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
All right,
yeah.
so
My dad was like, he's the best pitcher. Like that's the answer. That's what you say when people ask that question.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah,
You
it was
got
like
it.
that.
He's-
It was like that.
I love him, man. I'd love to just ask him like, how did you come up? Like, how did you like think to set someone up and in this at bat for 4 months down the road? Like, how does that even come into play?
Wait, what? That's what?
Yeah, you gotta watch.
All right,
it.
I gotta watch it.
No, dude,
I'll check it out.
Honestly, unbelievable. Barry, who do you always come to?
You know, I always choose my no-no because I never met him. I have his name. I've heard so much about him.
Okay.
So I would just want to sit down with him at least once. And then, you know, that's my sentimental answer. And my everyday answer is I can't pick one. I'd probably pick a round table of Ed Milet, Gary Brecka.
Really?
Guys, yeah. Like, I'm big onto, like... I'm big into, you know, diving into the self and working on your health, your wellness, your mind, your fitness, everything.
Word.
I've really been trying. I've really bought into the mind-body connection and just really just, you know, trying to do the best you have. You know, you have your soul, but this is the only physical vessel you have for this life, so you got to take care of it.
I like that. That's a good answer. Ed
I
Milet.
know we got a fucking round table now.
Ed Milet. That's an interesting one.
It's mixing up.
You know him? You listen to him a little bit?
Nah, I've seen his stuff before.
Dude, that man changed my life.
Really?
Yeah, I started listening to him in 2021, and I tell people all the time, if you talk to me in 2019, if 2019 Mario talked to 2025 Mario, 2019 Mario would think that I was crazy. Like, my mindset has shifted like 180 degrees just by listening to some of the guests that Ed Milet has on, and even like his singular episodes where it's just him talking.
Really?
Yeah, his outlook on mindset and life, and his honestly, I wish that I can be as good of a podcast host as he is someday. His ability to figure out exactly what us, his listeners, want to get from every guest that he has on, and his ability to pull it from that guest, I think is incredible. You know, it's like, because it's not just, you know, I'm not tuning into, you know, a former CIA agent because that's entertaining. I'm not tuning into an athlete because it's entertaining. Like, he's figuring out a way to make all of his listeners be able to relate to that guest, regardless of what they do for a living.
Interesting. That's
You
cool.
said the 2019 Mario, I think the 25 Mario is crazy. Bro, that should be the opposite. You kidding me?
Well, I was out of control, but from a mindset perspective,
Okay.
some of my takes on life, listen, we could go on for days about it.
Yeah.
But, I'm a different person now.
Good to know. I'll check him out more.
You know, I tell everybody. Yeah.
Everybody. I love it, man. That was some good stuff, bro.
Thank you
again
guys.
for coming out.
Thanks so
you,
much,
guys.
brother. This was a good one.
Yeah, it was fun.
Guys, if you're on YouTube, like, comment, share, spank that subscribe button. And don't forget, there's always an open seat for you at the oven.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we teamed up with Underdog Fantasy. We have a promo code OVEN. We're gonna give you 50% cash back on your deposit, maximum $500. That's a free $250 in the bag for you if you do it the right way. It's free money. Money in the bag. And Dubby Energy. Same code OVEN, get you 10% off your first order. I think every order, actually, correct? Every order moving forward. 10% off Dubby Energy drinks. They're the clean energy. We love them. You're gonna love them.
Keep it cooking in the oven. The oven. Yep, the oven. The oven.